So I am back from vacation. My wife Allison and I went to England, which was great. We were there for quite a while, visited a lot of places. We went with some friends, and we really had a great time. I won't tell you a lot about it right now just because, a lot of it'll be sermon illustrations, and no doubt in a little while you'll be so tired of my vacation to England you won't be able to stand it. But we did have a great time. And yeah, we'll certainly revisit the topic a few times. This past weekend we got back on what would have been, I think, Saturday morning, wicked early. We slept and then we got up and I went back to work. On Saturday we had our first ever a cappella competition at the church. It was great. We had 5 groups. 4 high school groups, and then another group of adults who did sort of a barbershop thing. Very cool. And we've shown some of the videos from that, and you'll see more of them as we go along, on slow days in our video life. But that was great. And then the next day we went to church, and we had a guest preacher, Reverend Eileen Tompkins Gillespie, who did a great job. Thank you, Eileen, for your work. And then we had the baseball draft for our fantasy team, fantasy league. My team, the Fightin' Parsons. I think there haven't been any games yet, and I'm already in 10th place out of a league of 10. So you see how that's normal for me. I don't do very well in fantasy baseball, but we did that as well. So this Sunday, we'll be thinking about cathedrals. On my trip, we went to see a few cathedrals that are fit the standard definition. Places like York Minster or Westminster Cathedral. But we use the term in common usage a little more loosely. A cathedral can be something like something that is grand. Something like, say, a mountain. Right. For me, I always think of Double Top Mountain in Maine, Baxter State Park. It's not the biggest one, but it's super cool and has great views. And it means something to me, but it also is something that's big. And then we also think of things like that are just spiritually significant. So they can be much smaller. On our trip to England, we saw stone circles, for example. For someone like me, we went to Dove Cottage, where William Wordsworth really kicked off his career as a poet. And we hiked a little bit on Hadrian's Wall, which was both, moving in a sort of a historical, spiritual sort of way, and also just really grand in that other sense of the term. So that worked too. So we'll talk a little bit about that, about what places in our lives have that kind of significance. And sometimes it's awe-inspiring because of its size, but sometimes it's just awe-inspiring because of what it is, or what it means to us, or what it means to humanity. So with that in mind, I have a Wordsworth poem, which he wrote at Dove Cottage, which is one of the words. We did a little Wordsworth pilgrimage tour thing one day, but it's about his garden, and I think you'll like it. Farewell, thou little nook of mountain ground, thou rocky corner in the lowest stair of Fairfield's mighty temple that doth bound one side of our whole vale with grandeur rare. Sweet garden orchard, of all spots that are the loveliest, surely man hath never found. Farewell, we leave thee to heaven's peaceful care, thee and the cottage which thou dost surround. Our boat is safely anchored by the shore, and safely she will ride when we are gone. And ye few things that lie about our door shall have our best protection, every one. Fields, goods, and distant chattels we have none. This is the place which holds our private store of things earth makes and sun doth shine upon. Here are they in our sight. We have no more. Sunshine and showers be with you, bud and bell. For 2 months now in vain we shall be sought. We leave you here in solitude to dwell, with these our latest gifts of tender thought. Thou, like the morning in thy saffron coat, bright gowan and marsh marigold, farewell, whom from the borders of the lake we brought, and placed together near our rocky well. We go for one to whom you will be dear, and she will love this bower, this Indian shed, our own contrivance, building without peer, a gentle maid whose heart is lowly bred. Her pleasures are in wild fields gathered, with joyousness and with a thoughtful cheer. She'll come to you herself will wed, and love the blessed life which we lead here. Now the poem goes on actually for 1, 2, 3, 4 more stanzas, which maybe we'll read on Sunday, but that's probably enough for today. I hope to see you on Sunday. We all have places in our lives that are sacred to us, cathedrals that we build, sometimes out in the world, but sometimes in our hearts. And it would be a great opportunity, I think, for us to spend a little time this Lent thinking about what those are for us and remembering them and valuing them in our lives. So that's all for today. You know how to get in touch with me, and I will see you on Sunday.